many fans you earned this year.
Hello and welcome to the exciting conclusion of the 2023 Skelleftea Open. This is round 3 back 9 FPO lead card coverage brought to you by MDG Media. We have only 9 holes remaining before we crown your next champion, as well as those podium positions after an exciting battle. We have a fantastic lead card for you here as we take a look at the standings. Silva Saarinen continuing to hold the lead, as we see Jenni, Karppinen in second, Ella and Rachel tied in third. A very close battle for all positions remaining, and with some great score separators and a very technical course, these players are going to need to keep it clean and in the fairway if they want to secure those final positions. We kick it off with hole 10. A 105-meter par 3. This hole requires a long, straight fighting shot. For most people on the right side of this dividing island, the drone flying to the left here, while it is possible it's a significantly harder line, a lot of players will play on the right with a long pushing hyzer and try to crash into this soft hill, slightly elevated basket. Very common that the tunnel early on is the thing that gives players trouble. When they punch through that gap with a right-handed backhand, let the disc do the work, often it's quite a favorable result. We have Rachel up on the tee.
Love it. Yeah.
She has done just that. Look at the accuracy. An incredible first shot of our back 9 here. Absolutely parking hole 10. Very smooth by Rachel. I really like the height on that, ensuring that she'll fade significantly left. Ella there with a slight late release, fortunately kicks back out of the woods, although will still be a tricky position for her. We see Ella and Rachel tied, but unlikely that that is still the result after hole 10 now, after seeing both their drives. Silva here pushing the right side as well. Very common for the right-handed backhand. You want to play a long fighting hyzer, you need a little bit of flip, but not too much. And we see Jenni there going with the lower line, pushing this one up into circle 2, and she'll have a long look at the basket, although running it with the elevation can leave you a tricky comebacker. Jenni very good though at giving the circle 2 runs and keeping it close. Ella up first, shaping an awkward Anheuser forehand. But a great shot into the circle. Putting for 3. She's been throwing really well, but just having some troubles on the green so far in round 3. Silva also with a nice upshot there. Yeah, Jenni not looking to take any risk, especially at this point in the tournament. Sitting in solo second, I'm not sure if she would be looking at these scores at this point, but very important not to do anything too crazy. She knows that although she's still 3 behind Silva, she doesn't need the birdie here. As we look to be collecting 3 pars and an incredible birdie from Rachel, who is absolutely parked. She pops that in. And Jenni taking the 3. Rachel will find 1 stroke on this lead card and take solo 3rd position with a great shot. Hole 11, a 185-meter par 5. You have this initial field tightening and narrowing to this late tunnel. You want to pierce through this gap and then have your disc fade left as much as possible. The more leftwards movement, the better, as the fairway then bends sharply to the right side. If you're far enough to the left off the tee, you have this straight look with a right to left sloping fairway and a basket perched right at the top of the hill. This is a very tricky fairway to navigate, and you can push all the way up to here in 2 amazing shots. We did see Silva snag the eagle on this in round 2 with absolute perfection off the tee as well as on her approach, and then making the putt. We have Rachel getting us started here. Does not quite hit the mouth of the tunnel, and she'll be left with a lot of small gaps, potentially having to just pitch out. One of the shortest par 5s you'll ever see, but extremely technical, and there's a lot of trouble that you can find. Ella doing an inverse shot to Rachel there, pushing it too straight, but fortunately kicking back. I mentioned that Silva hit the perfect shot last round, and it looks like she's done it again here. Almost perfect. That is really, really good. As she gets all the way up there, she will have a soft anhyzer shape towards the basket, and that is an ideal position. Jenni looking to match this, keeps it lower as long as she can beat the trees. Some beautiful ground play for her, and she is right up there, a few meters shy of Silva's throw as well. Those two drives are pretty fantastic. We see how small these gaps are for Rachel now. Looking to throw a roller to position herself at the mouth of the second tunnel. A course like this often testing the versatility and creativity of players. Ella throwing a pitch out forehand. And we see Rachel went a little bit too straight into the rough. And that's her third shot now to position herself looking up the hill. She could, in theory, still snag par, although it will require a great upshot. Jenni here pushing this one through the gap. Playing a little bit with that right to left sloping fairway, catching the edge, but no worries there. Silva with a healthy snap on this one, maybe trying to push all the way to the green. Looked like it had a ton of pace, but not quite turning it over and battling against the slope. She finds herself funneling to the left side rough. Rachel trying to battle for par and catches the late tree. She'll be left circled to uphill for that 5. Ella's third shot here. You'd have to assume just a placement shot given how softly she threw that. Jenni playing to the back of the hill and putting on the brakes just in time. Really nicely done. That will be her putting for birdie. But we see up first here. Just a simple layup, no damage done for Ella. Especially on the spine of this hill, things can happen very quickly. Rachel doing the same. Opting for the single bogey. And Silva laughing almost at how poor of a shot that was. A great attitude. That looked to be very difficult. And good to see she's still having fun in this lead position. And I can see why you're having fun when you're cashing putts like that. The birdie look from way down the hill off the tree. Great composure from Silva. Jenni there coming out just a little bit early on the putt, not wanting to push it straight and down the hill. Rachel with still some work left saves the bogey. As we'll see both Jenni and Ella here tap out for their pars. Silva taking 1 stroke on them and 2 on Rachel as the holes now become fewer and fewer. Every stroke will count and be a significant differentiator. We'll see if that will happen here on hole 12. A 108-meter par 3 with an elevated tee and a divided fairway. You can play out the left side with a turnover or more likely a forehand. More players will opt simply to bring it in this right gap with a hyzer, flip up to flat straight shot, or a very soft flex. You see this OB body of water from the stunning drone shot really forcing players to commit to coming up short or long of the basket. Anything that's in between will likely end OB, leaving you with a tester putt. Silva getting us started on hole 12. Opting for that soft flex. You see she can't quite battle out of the water feature. She'll be left with a tough putt to save par. Ella there with a fine shot out to the left side. Jenni here, really looking to push this one straight down the pipe. She needs it to settle, and she too sneaks into the water. You can see that just hitting the ground, even possibly a meter earlier, would have saved her from that. A lot of these water features on the greens here at Disc Golf Terminalen requires a really thoughtful shot, both off the tee and on the approach, and even on the putt, to be honest. It's always coming into play, especially on these par 3s. Ella going to give this a bid. Fading away from the water, she can give it a confident chance. A good height there. Rachel as well, making sure not to come up short. Hits the flag. Jenni. Just a bit short. And Silva cashing the par save. Amazing putt in a critical moment for her. To not bleed strokes to the others. With no one looking to secure the birdie here on 12. A 3 will do just fine. Very nicely done for our leader. And Ella with an almost Paige Pierce-esque putting routine, bringing it upside down, inverting the disc over the head, then bringing it back down. We see here the bogey for Jenni and the par for the others. This hole 12 unbirdied by this lead card final round. The tension a little more palpable than before. Hole number 13, a 104-meter par 3. OB lines the left side the entire way, marked by those small stakes. You have some late trees that you need to navigate through, playing really nicely and naturally for the backhand flex, or if you have it, the power hyzer, although that really narrows the width, the flex making it much wider. You want something that's initially turning over out of the hand and then fading back strong. Although with that left side OB, a good control of the overstability is critical if you want to hit it right and avoid the damage of the penalty stroke. Silva pushing this out to the right, catching the fade to the left, and she fires long off the basket, getting claps from the gallery. Some interested viewers even getting up to go see her exact lie. Potentially wondering if it was contesting with OB, but looks to be in circle 1. Ella going wider and higher. Very nice control. And giving it even a soft bid. Absolutely parking this 105 meters. A very nice shot. Rachel with a low, slightly more driven shot. Not using the loft as much, but getting a great result there. Pushing forwards, soft turn, soft fade, and a really nice straight line right to the pin. We'll see Jenni try to bounce back now after the bogey on 12. She is currently tied with Ella and Rachel. And just not enough height to complete the full flight there. Very low with the nose down, turning over. Oh, a really healthy bid from super far away for Jenni. Giving it a great chance and keeping it close. As I've mentioned, that's a great skill set of hers and a great skill set to have in disc golf, allowing you to give that soft bid and ensuring that you have the chance coming back. And not just the chance, but the high frequency of bringing those putts back. Really liberating when you can trust your circle 1 putting. Silva here for birdie, catching the band. And another great example there where Although she's still left at about 8 meters, she's quite comfortable at this range. Obviously an unintended result there, but she's confident running it from the first time from a similar distance, knowing that she has a good chance to come back. And just like that, Silva Saarinen showing you why she's your current leader. Sitting at even 5 strokes above the rest of this lead card. Great birdie from Ella. Rachel going to be looking to birdie this as well. To maintain pace with Ella, as they'll both suddenly be tied for second if Rachel can make this putt. Very nicely done. Both Jenni and Silva taking the 3, Ella and Rachel taking the 2. Jenni falls behind by 1 stroke. Hole 14, a 187 meter par 4. You have an early Mando tree forcing you to throw as the drone flies straight down the tunnel, as well as OB lining the left side the entire way. You want a long straight flight, pushing as far as you can to prepare yourself on your second shot to go around the bend here towards this guarded green to the left, and of course an OB water feature directly in front of the basket to really keep you honest on both your approach and your putts. Another tricky green to contend with here on 14. And a very demanding tee shot. You want really a significant amount of distance while ensuring that you hit this gap.
Flat.
Very vocal on the bag there. James Proctor caddying for Ella. Rachel once again opting for the power forehand, similar to round 2. She gets herself into a great position there, sacrificing potentially a little bit of distance to ensure that she hits the gap and ends in a great place on the fairway. Silva getting a long, high flight, really significantly turning it over. It looks to be a little bit too high. Unsure how much distance she got off that. And you see these players really erring to the right side. There is no OB or Mando coming into play if you move to the right the whole way into the flight. And it also opens up the gap to go left on the second shot around the corner, assuming you push it far enough. Jenni there with a little bit of a shorter drive, but absolutely fine getting through that first gap. Silva up first. And she's actually playing on the right side of the trees. There's this slightly alternative fairway that is not out of bounds, but she's back now into the traditional fairway. She overturned it so much, she was out on the right. Another tricky position now for Silva. A very important moment here. This is her third shot. Powerful. And a good moment to really blast one through. Look at that thing fly. That is just fine. She hit the gap with a ton of power and punched up through. Maybe looking at a bogey overall on this hole, but hole 14 was by no means an easy hole. Par 4, another one averaging over 5.19 actually. So 4 does play as a birdie here. We see these players getting around this last corner as far as possible. Rachel leaving herself with a nice look at a jump putt. Can really commit to that one, ensuring she gets over the water. Ella getting this really high, significant fade, and she almost crosses but comes up OB in the pond. She'll have to putt back over from the short side now. And she's shown some struggles on the green. Jenni as well, unable to find safety there. Entering Splashtown. Population Jenni. And Ella. Silva now with the long bid. And that's the thing, you want to give it a confident look, ensuring that you go long of the basket, not ending short. But then if you fire past it, you're putting back towards the OB from what could potentially be an uncomfortable range. We'll see how Rachel chooses to navigate this. She gives it the step putt and she drains it from way downtown. Strong side. Check this out again from another angle. The catch cam coming in here. You see her envisioning the line. You'll see her drop this and then power through with the legs. Pop the wrist and boom. Just like that. What an incredible putt for birdie. For Rachel Turton, that is a smooth 3 here on 14. Just lighting up this back 9, shades on. Ready for business. She sneaks her way to +3. An important moment for Ella now. To make sure she's not having too big of a stroke swing. Solid putt. Her third throw and her fourth stroke. I believe they're discussing here where Jenni crossed. She's now left with the same fate. We'll see if she can make the same putt. Healthy, really nice. Really solid at a critical moment here. Jenni ensuring not to take too much damage. Just a single bogey. Ella taking the par. Rachel with the incredible birdie. And we'll see Silva move to her putt now, coming back towards the water. Rachel has snuck to only 3 strokes behind her. As she cards that bogey, it will now be 2. And the battle tightens. We have 4 holes left here at the Skelleftea Open until your next champion is crowned, and we'll see who that will be. Hole 15. A 150-meter par 4. An interesting hole. You have OB lining the left and the right the entire way. It is a completely straight shot. Some players might even, with a really big arm, consider this to be an eagleable hole. Ella potentially might be looking to give this a chance as one of the FPO distance champions of recent history. This is one where you just want to keep it in the fairway. You can choose to throw 75-75 and putt for birdie. You can choose to rip a huge bomb and have a simple jump putt approach, or even a long look at eagle. This is a hole that will really test players' control and determine how much they want to bite off on the tee. Rachel pushing this one way out over the tree. She'll be fading left towards the end of the flight, but got a ton of distance. That's in a great spot. Likely just a jump putt approach and an easy 3. Ella getting this one overturned into the bushes. You see it crash down and not come back in bounds. She has gone early OB to the right side, and that will be still a very difficult second shot for her from pretty far out. Silva here also overturning but kicking back out to the left, not as aggressive of an entrance into the tree line. We'll see Jenni look to bounce back now. She's slowed down a little bit on this back 9. She fades out just before that tree, also getting significant distance. Probably also a jump putt for her. She's shown to have good range on that. Ella still quite a ways out. And she battles that low ceiling, getting under it, maybe even potentially ricocheting off the tree. It was hard to say in the shade there, but she comes up just shy of the circle. We'll be left with a long par save. Silva a little bit disappointed there in that result. Catching a lot of foliage on the way, she loses momentum and likely just playing for par now for her. This is Jenni. Still with a pretty significant throw to the green. Not quite as far off the tee as she made it look. And she fires long of the basket actually. Coming up at 11 meters for the comebacker, just outside the circle. It'll be interesting to see where her putting's at this point in the tournament. Very common for players on lead cards to have some nerves coming down the stretch. Ella with a smooth, controlled shot. One angle forehand hyzer, low to the ground, tons of spin, both to ensure that she gets a good skip. Rachel here, you see she pushed all the way up to that left side OB, although totally safe. She is left with a short upshot. And just like that, she'll be left with a bullseye for the 3. Very nicely done. Well executed game plan from Rachel. Showing off her distance there. Absolutely smashing the drive. Silva with a nice long bid. Although that will be her tapping in for par. We know that Rachel is getting a birdie here. Most likely. This is Jenni from just outside the circle. Now within the circle for her par as well. Really nice drive, just a little bit long on the approach. Silva taking the par as well as Ella. Rachel here for birdie to reduce Silva's lead to only 1 stroke. And she does it. That's got to feel good. Challenging Silva for that lead position, which she has held throughout the entire tournament. Rachel has put 3 birdies together in a row here. 13, 14, 15, as well as catching hole 10. Finding some green on there as well. It's heating up.
Latitude 64's boys down here. Just finished checking out the time in your map, and everything is A-OK.
Hey, Jonathan, catch. Huh?
Warning, low oxygen. Warning, low oxygen.
Jonathan, we're getting an anomalous critical failure on your suit. Could you please confirm status?
Low oxygen.
Sorry, man.
Warning, low oxygen.
Hole 16. Par 4 at 185 meters. Quite a unique shape to this fairway. Although no real OB to speak of other than the natural OB to the left and right, players are going to want to get their drive moving first to the right and trying to battle somewhere near these 2 slightly parallel trees is a really good place to land off the drive. You then see the fairway bend back to the left and have a long straight push where the basket is tucked away on the left, just inside the tree line. Rachel gonna lean on her power forehand. And a nice placement shot. Ella now sitting in solo third. If she wants to push for that second place position, she'll need to make something happen. She has crushed that one into the fairway, but caught a few branches on her way. Playing now to the left side, she'll be slightly pinched to the approach to the green. If you're more right on the fairway, it's more forgiving for the second shot entrance angle. Silva there, just absolutely lacing one. That is an ideal spot. And a great example of her control of the angles. Turning it over and then having it push flat right down the middle of the fairway. Jenni using a little bit more height here, as a result getting some earlier fade, and she will also be left side fairway but looks to have kept it clean. Ella up first for her approach, and she just punches straight through the inside there, absolutely bombing this hyzer. Rachel looking to beat the corner here, have it go long straight flight and then fade left at the end. She has it fade a little bit early, not quite using the full width, but will have a circle to look at yet another birdie. Jenni here also slightly pinched. This looks like a really nice width and distance. She powers this one up there, and look at that. Sneaks her way into the circle. That is a great shot from Jenni Karppinen. Currently 2 behind Ella, who is 2 behind Rachel, who is 1 behind Silva. So a lot of these separating holes can be determining who's going home with the podium positions today, as well as the money on the line. These PDGA Euro Tour tournaments having some great purses this year. We see Ella up first to the basket. A nice step putt bid. Just shy of finding chains. She slides past it. This is Rachel for birdie. A very extended straddle here. Gonna need to keep it high on hyzer to navigate around the trees. And comes out quite soft. That is not a super easy putt. Still about 5 or 6 meters to the basket for par for Rachel now. And Silva confidently cashing that one in from circle's edge. Really nice. Incredible putter, especially when it matters most. Silva Saarinen securing a stroke there on hole 16, putting herself back to even. This is Jenni for her birdie. She sneaks it over as well. Some great threes here on hole 16. Another hole that averaged over par at 4.31. The 3 is a really nice one to find here, especially on final day, especially on lead card, and especially when it gets you one step closer to a PDGA Euro Tour podium position. This is Rachel for par. Ella with a similar putt now.
Sometimes the directors follow and then you're just like...
I know.
Yeah.
I've been on your job before.
Good putt.
The very fun hole 17, a 69-meter par 3 island hole with a drop zone if you don't make it. You can throw anything you want, backhand, forehand, overhead, roller if you're crazy, although I don't recommend it. All you need to do is pick your favorite low-speed disc, hit the island, and make your putt. This one, not as easy as it looks. A lot of players will opt for a straight shot. Some players will play the soft hyzer, especially if you want to throw forehand. We even saw some players playing just a flex line with an overstable approach disc. Silva with a very early release finds herself OB. It's a tough drop zone putt, makeable, but right around deep circle 2, she's most players are taking a 4 from the drop zone. So Rachel, who's 2 strokes behind, if she were to secure the 2, could take this down to the last hole. We have Jenni up first though, Playing the soft hyzer. It's quite low and does not get the skip required. She'll be meeting Silva at the drop zone. Rachel ensuring she has good grip. I think she knows just how important this shot is. And it looks pretty healthy. She catches the mulch. She settles in the island and will have about 6 or 7 meters to the basket for her birdie. That is a huge shot at a very important moment. Potential tipping point. We see from Ella here. More common straight line right at the basket. Controlling that speed very nicely. Bounces it off the back wall. No way! No way! Silva Saarinen from the drop zone. Second to last hole in the lead to keep a one-stroke lead going into hole 18. And she walks up and drains it with the flex putt. That is what champions are made out of. And regardless of her podium position, you can see why she's held the solo lead for the entire tournament so far. What a putt. See Jenni try to match it here. Just a little bit low, but finds metal and settles nice and soft. This is Ella for 2.
Solid.
Nice birdie there on 17 for Ella. Bogey free in this back 9. Only one in the lead card so far. That's quite a commendable act here with a lot of technical holes, OB, tricky greens, water hazards. Ella has remained clean from the bogeys. This is Rachel here for her birdie and to put herself one stroke behind Silva going into the final hole. Just like that, Rachel with a incredibly hot back 9 in the final round here. This is Jenni for bogey now, a short tap in. And as we go into the last hole of this tournament, we have Silva at even, Rachel 1 over, Ella 3 over, and Jenni 6 over. We'll see if anything changes here. Hole 18, a par 4 at 191 meters. You have OB lining the left side the entire way. You can come into play very quickly if you kick off a tree or hyzer out on the right-handed backhand. You want to push straight, often playing to the right side of the fairway for a lot of these players to mitigate any risk of OB and try to make their way as far up as quickly as they can into this fairway. Once you do make it to the green, you have this elevated basket to contend with, to test where your nerves are at the end of a long round for these players on lead card as well. Testing your nerves and focus at a critical moment. Hole 18 is another one of these really tough par 4s in the woods that averages more than a stroke over par. We'll see Rachel up first. And she kicks off to the right, playing the power hyzer on the right side gap. She gets it up to flat and gets an unfortunate tree kick. Likely playing for par at best now for Rachel. Ella hitting that hyzer gap much more purely. And although she doesn't get the full distance, still a very fine position to be in. Silva can keep this in the fairway. It's a huge moment, and she does just that, outdriving Ella by just a few meters there, getting the full flight. A great spot to be for our leader, Silva Saarinen, going into this last hole. We'll see Jenni now look to have a strong finish. A great looking shot, maintaining the angle integrity of the hyzer. Slides right up next to Ella's shot. Very smooth, almost identical lines there. Rachel playing the forehand hyzer to get back into the fairway, but you can see just how little she was left with off that right side kick. Unable to get too much distance. This is an opportunity now. Ella with a huge shot right up the pipe. Straight down the middle. She comes up just shy of circle 1. But that is her now, putting for birdie. A really great opportunity to give herself here. Jenni now. Shaping this full flex. Another incredible upshot. Silva, if she can put this close, she'll know that's all she needs to do. Oh, and she catches a tree along her way. She's not quite there yet, although that's only her second shot. She'll have another opportunity on her third to put it close and hopefully have a stress-free putt. Very important moment now for Rachel. This is her third throw. And she gets a very significant skip. Super strong ground play, pushing her out to the left side. Although she's pin high, skipped looked to be just outside the circle, or right at circle's edge. Silva to put this one close, and she does just that. She will be left just outside bullseye for par and for the win. If she can make that putt, we'll see Ella up first. Gives it the stepper, gives it the loft, and a little bit too much as she finds the band. That's a really big moment now. Rachel with this awkward putt. Comes up just shy as well. Rachel looking to be carding the bogey. Ella taking likely the par. This is Jenni now. To close out her tournament in good fashion. Although it's a bogey save, always nice to make that final putt into the basket. And in fact, a birdie save rather. Apologies, the graphic there coming up bogey. Jenni with some textbook execution here. An amazing upshot, leaving herself a short putt, ending strong on the birdie. And that's exactly the result you want to see for Jenni Karppinen. An amazing tournament by her to work her way to the lead card and maintain her presence there. Ella Hansen taking the par. Very solid performance for her as well. Had some amazing throws. This is Rachel here. If she can make this putt, she can secure solo second place now. And she has done just that, putting together a scorching hot back nine with a few bogeys even along the way. You see all that green on her scorecard. Silva Saarinen, your champion. Skelleftea Open 2023 FPO champion Silva Saarinen with an incredible and dominant performance, securing another win for her in this season. She looks to be playing at just another level. Congratulations to her competitors for bringing it all the way up to the final hole and into play. Just an incredible tournament and an incredible performance for her, showing that she has all the tools to maintain that top position here in Europe. What a tournament. As we take a look at the overall standings, Silva, your leader, ending at even. Rachel battling her way all the way into second place, +2 overall and 2 under for the round. Ella finishing in third, 1 stroke behind her, playing 1 under for the round. Jenni in fourth. Our lead card secures their positions and walks away with top 4. We hope you enjoyed this coverage. It was an absolute pleasure. This is brought to you by MDG Media. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to support us, and we will catch you at the next stop. We'll see you there.